This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is Matthew Pietras. He is the CFO and COO of StageZero Life Sciences, a publicly traded company. The symbol is SZLS on the TSX. Matthew, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you having me on.
It's great to have you. So the last time we had somebody on from StageZero was back in January 2021. We're going to get into all those updates soon, but one of those updates is the fact that you joined the firm in September. So before we get into everything, love to get your background and a little bit about why you joined StageZero Life Sciences.
Thanks, Robert. Yeah, no, it's right. I joined just a couple months ago, and it's tremendously exciting for me personally and professionally to be a part of this leadership team. In my career, I started my career at KPMG. I'm a CPA, public accounting firm. Spent a number of years there before going on to Wachovia and Wells Fargo, where I spent a number of years in banking and learning that industry. But there was always a deep-seated interest in me to learn the life sciences and biotech sectors, specifically some of the healthcare subsectors, and went back to school, got a graduate degree in biotechnology from Johns Hopkins University, and did that simultaneously with an MBA. And so when I put those two together, it was time for me to leave banking and go into pharma. Started at AstraZeneca at their MedImmune Biologics unit. I was in charge of their financial planning and analysis and all their statutory and financial reporting. A lot to have learned there, but there was also an opportunity for me to leverage some of the scientific knowledge that I gained through my education and apply that to some of the strategy that they were building in oncology. It was a tremendously growth development aspect of their business, and I was privileged to jump in and help stratify some of their investment. And so did that for a few years. I was asked to then lead the spin out of their autoimmune franchise, which became Viela Bio, ultimately went public and was sold here in January to Horizon for about $3 billion. And then prior to joining StageZero, I was at a privately funded biotech startup, again, preparing them for their ultimate IPO, and joined StageZero here in September. It's been a tremendously exciting time, as you can imagine, with all the news that we've had.
Absolutely. So let's get into all of that. Last time we had James on, the chairman and CEO, back in January 20, 2021. That's when we published our last interview. So I'd love to get an update. What would you say, obviously other than you joining the firm, what would you say are some of the company's key highlights since then?
Oh my goodness, so many great things have happened over the course of the last, call it 6 months or so. And when I think about it, the Care Oncology acquisition is probably the most revolutionary aspect of our business in the last several years, right? Just being able to close that acquisition and integrate that part of our business provides us an opportunity to really give patients a fully integrated, vertically integrated healthcare solution. It's not like anything else that's offered today by any other company. It means that we're the single source for everything from early detection of cancer, straight on through monitoring, advisory, treatment, and it's all delivered via telehealth platform. Not only do we have operations here in the United States, but also in Europe and in the UK. And so excited about how the Care Oncology acquisition has evolved over the last several months. As we've integrated it, it was virtually seamless. This was the effort of the better part of 18 months and some of Jim's greatest strategic ambitions and visions in trying to bring these two businesses together, because they're so complementary in what they afford for patients. And so what we've seen after the acquisition is this very fast integration where we're able to expand upon the offering of the treat protocol. We've seen so many patients coming through, and it's growing every single day. We've even had to add physicians in support of that demand, but it also offers us the opportunity to expand the offering through Care Oncology to include our AVRT program. Now that's been launched in the United States, and we're preparing in early 2022 that we can launch that in the UK as well. In addition, to Aristotle being launched in the United States earlier this year, we've also been able to open an on-site clinic at our high complexity lab in Richmond, Virginia. So people who want access to that test can simply walk into our laboratory, have their specimen collected, and be provided a report. And so it's tremendously exciting, all of the various things we've been able to do just on the cancer side of our business. And that's just one part of what we do. As you know, we also provide COVID testing, and it's times where COVID remains to be an unpredictable variable. We have the opportunity to provide COVID testing for patients who need it. And so with that as in mind, we launched a product here just a couple weeks ago called Border Pass. And Border Pass, while it's geared towards the traveler, and it can be used by anyone really who needs to know a determinative yes or no, whether or not they've been infected with COVID. And so, as we're starting to see the pandemic evolve again, and we're preparing and bracing for what could potentially be another wave here in the winter, we're strategically positioned to provide insights for patients who need them. And so, tremendously excited about all those things that we've accomplished. But lastly, we were also able to get ourselves positioned on the OTCQB so that we can provide greater access to U.S. investors.
By the way, what's the symbol on the QB, for everybody here?
SZLSF.
And Matthew, to close us out here today, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now going into 2022?
Oh, Robert, that's a great question. Thanks for asking. So in my short time here, Jim and I have worked very closely to build out a global growth strategy that consists of 3 primary pillars. One would be the deepening of our offerings, second would be the broadening of our offerings, and third would be the expansion of our capabilities. And so I'll talk to you a little bit about all 3 of those and how they affect not only our near-term, but long-term vision for what we want to build. When we talk about deepening the capabilities, we think specifically about Aristotle. Aristotle, what we want to do is broaden the gene signature such that we can detect even more tumor types tomorrow than we could today. As you can imagine, that's of significant importance, not only for us, but for patients. In addition, we would like to add to our Care Oncology AVRT offering such that we can provide more specialists in the ways of nutritionists and physiologists and things of that nature so that we can provide a more robust solution for patients going forward. When we talk about broadening our business, you really have to think about how we leverage the Sentinel principle to develop Aristotle from the start. As you know, it relies upon gene signatures specific to various tumor types. We're looking to broadening the ability to detect other gene signatures such that we can provide insights around neurological, autoimmune, inflammatory, and even cardiovascular diseases at an earlier stage so that the solutions we can offer to patients are predictive on a much newer level and much different level than have ever been offered before. And complementary to that, as you can imagine, in order for us to provide that holistic solution for patients, we would need to add on to our Care Oncology AVRT protocol as well, adding cardiologists and autoimmune specialists and neurologists, things of that nature going forward. Lastly, as it pertains to expanding, it's all about providing a broader population for testing, right? And so we look to global expansion on our global telehealth platform and giving patients an opportunity throughout the world to benefit from what we offer.
Very good. Well, Matthew, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on StageZero?
Oh, as always, StageZeroLifeSciences.com.
Very good. Matthew, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Thanks. I look forward to telling you all about what we're accomplishing next time we get together.